Hi Taurus, welcome to your end of December 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So on the 29th or 30th, depending on where you live, there will be a full moon at 8 degrees of Cancer. And for some of you, early degree Taurians, this will be in your third house, which is the house of the mind. So this can be some kind of idea coming to you. The third house can be siblings. When I say idea, though, this may be of a more spiritual nature that you can apply to your practical life. But also, this can be something coming to a head with a sibling, an aunt or uncle, a cousin, a neighbor. The third house can be your local area. If you have been thinking of leaving the area that you're in, you might have like the final straw of if you've had like been dissatisfied with your neighborhood, something might just be what pushes you over the top. And it might even be just from an emotional or intuitive point of view rather than an actual event. Um, but the other thing too is that many of you will be having this in the second house of earned income. So that could be a boost to your finances. Maybe you get a raise, for instance, or money that is coming to you. So let us see what'll happen, and we will. So the first card I get is the King of Pentacles. Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna get money, right? Pick an additional card. Okay. Boy, it seems like a theme. Oh, I got these. They're kind of like not centered, are they? Um, a theme of some of these readings thus far, I've done like half of the readings, has been endings. And, I didn't think about it, but I mean, it's the end of the year. And what a year we've had, haven't we? Um, I cannot remember a year that has ever been talked about so much as this year. Um, and So maybe that's part of it, is that people are letting go of certain things. And we are having that full moon. It's almost, at it's almost, yeah, on New Year's Eve. So it's really kind of funny because it's really at the tail end there. So the heart of the matter is the King of Pentacles. And Pentacles, in case you didn't know, are connected to earth signs like you, Taurus, like Virgo, and like Capricorn. The king to me is at the top of his game, somebody who is representing the element, in this case the earth, at the top of his game. So how I interpret this is that you are really supercharged with your finances. Maybe you're actually owning your own business, or you have ascended to the position of a manager of a bank, of being an investments broker, something that you are the go-to person when it comes to money. Maybe you're going to a person with money because you need um, a loan or something like that. The other thing too is that this may be somebody in your life that you are involved with. And, one of the things about this particular individual, the kings can be fathers. So if it's going to the father for money or what have you, or if this is a love interest, they're either Taurus. They could have like a strong earth element like Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. In the past position, we have the hangman. The hangman is kind of hanging out, and the hangman can feel jerked around. So if this is a situation, maybe this is a boss who has made promises to you that they're going to give you a raise. Maybe this is a lover who said that they will be leaving their spouse for you, and you are just left waiting, waiting. The higher message, the world card, the end of a cycle, graduation day. Maybe it's time to see that something has ended. That's difficult for Taurus. Taurus was a fixed sign. Fixed signs tend to endure. And that's just their go-to mode of behaving, is I can see this through. I can hang in there. Maybe that's what the whatchamacallit, the hangman is hanging in there, trying to hang in the game and stay there when you're not there, when there isn't a future with that situation. Because, and by the way, I'm not saying this to throw cold water on a dream of somebody's, but I feel like dreams have to have some kind of a flow. If things seem very resistant, I think it's good to look at that and say, I wonder if this is really for me. Maybe this isn't really for me. But I think that's one of the areas where Taurus people tend to trip themselves up. When they are so persistent, they're almost obsessive about it's a stubbornness, not wanting to concede, not wanting to throw in the towel. But sometimes it's not about saying, oh, I failed, but it's saying, this situation isn't flowing the way that I want it to. And therefore, I'm not sure that it's really, maybe at one time it was flowing more, and now it seems like it's stagnating. And this can be the workplace. Maybe at one time, especially if you are like in sales, when I see the King of Pentacles in some kind of sales, maybe this is a business that you own, that you've been waiting patiently for it to recover, or for some loan maybe for your business. And it seems like it's just not working out, and you keep thinking about the times when everything was great. And that's one of the things too with Taurus. I think that stubbornness can be like on the mental level of like refusing to move on. Not only refusing to give in, but refusing to move on. One interpretation I really like of the hangman is surrender. And that means not that it's not synonymous with giving up. It means that you no longer are attached to the results. You're just surrendering to what is. And what crosses you is the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups, you see the fish jumping out. This is connected to Pisces. And like Pisces, this is kind of being a babe in the woods, being naive. Now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't always have to mean something like that, but it could mean something like that in the context of these other cards. As I stated, one of the possibilities that I mentioned was being involved with somebody who has promised that they're going to leave their spouse. And they keep giving you all these excuses why it hasn't happened yet. and you keep believing them. And there's a part of you that might say, wait, that doesn't make sense, or I'm not sure it really went down exactly like that. And because this isn't a challenge position, it's keeping you from living your life at the best level. So it's always good to, see it for what it is, and not, see the situation that you find yourself in, and not try to sugarcoat it, and not try to lie to yourself. Because the World card really does suggest that you have ended a phase of your life. You did have a full moon, as of the recording of this, almost 2 months, like a month and a half ago, a little bit more than that. And, that might have been the closure that some of you needed. But if you still feel like there's some kind of situation that hasn't fully resolved itself, that might be coming from you. You might be waiting from some outer source, when in fact it comes from yourself. What is coming in is a strength card. This is like understanding your own power, understanding your own need for a high self-esteem, so that you will not accept less than what you deserve. And that can certainly relate to the hangman. Like, how long are you willing to hang in there for someone who is jerking you around? If you've been promised a raise by a boss and it never materializes, do you start to question the sincerity of that and think, hey, maybe my boss really never intended to give me a raise, and they just wanted to see how long they could keep me hanging on. I keep thinking that song, they you keep me hanging on. Maybe I'll use that as a title, because it just played in my head. um the outcome is the Four of Cups. I did pick an additional card just because, and it's not like, oh wow, this is a bad card, I don't want to end on it, but it just seems like it's not a final card. The Four of Cups, you can kind of see, look at the person's expression on their face, and look at what is being offered to them and who is offering it. The clouds. To me, that represents the universe offering you something that you're not particularly enthused by. And what this can mean in relationships is that you have a situation where a person is offering affection, and the other party isn't easily amused by it, isn't like easily, oh, what's the term, like, impressed by that ability. And that could be because um they that this person has already disappointed you. This person has already jerked you around. So anything that they say, even if they try to sugarcoat it, make it sound good, you're not necessarily buying it. Or maybe you've gotten disgusted by now and you're done with it. Um, maybe they made you one promise too many that they broke. Um, I would also say pay attention to what you're feeling. If you're involved with somebody and you're not that into them, don't pretend that that isn't a serious situation. Don't. Now, I will say that if you have children with somebody and you're not at each other's throats, you're, getting along, even if you don't love that person, you might sacrifice your own desires for a certain period of time in order to, give your child as stable an environment as possible. I don't think that that is bad at all, as long as you know exactly what you're doing, and as long as the relationship isn't, you know, bad, where you're just screaming at each other all the time, and because that's not going to be good for the children. But if it's a civil relationship, then if both of you want to stay together for their children, maybe that is okay. But the point is that pay attention to how you feel. Don't try to discount your feelings and act like they don't matter, because they do. And I picked a clarification card, and we have the judgment card. The judgment card to me is, and it is next to the world card. It is the card right before the world card, and it's all about cause and effect. And this is also baptism by fire, and what's that word, or that phrase, the phoenix rising from the ashes, rebirth. So perhaps you've been through something that has been almost like a test for you in certain ways, Taurus, but you're coming out of this um, feeling a sense of, inner strength, but also this ability to be philosophical about it and understand that this is just part of how life plays itself out sometimes. When you have a situation where you want something, and somebody else may even be telling you, yes, I'm going to give this to you, but you don't see the actual results, at a certain point you have to face the truth. And the Page of Cups in the challenge position can be when a person lies to themselves or doesn't really accept the reality of a situation. Like, what is the end game? What is the point of doing that? It doesn't help that person cope ultimately. It's just kind of like a band-aid. So being able to, it's funny, I think of the judgment card as ripping off the band-aid like all at once, because it's like there's a sense of liberation. I mean, you can see it in the depiction, in this depiction, that they're almost like, hey, I made it. I made it out the other end. And even if you have something that you wish could have been otherwise, you still can be your own best advocate. You can be your own greatest cheerleader, that you will not accept second best from another person or another situation. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.